Welcome back to the Hirewell Hot Corner, where sports and recruitment meet. I am your host, Dan Patel, joined as always by my Iron Man co-host, Louie Marisi. Louie, great to see you again. Let's jump right in. What's going on in your world, the world of sports today?
New week, same story. Bears, Chicago Bears, underachieving. Not underachieving, but doing bear-like things, losing games that, 97% chance of winning at a certain point. So I'm sure you can tell in my voice, disappointed, but at the same time, I guess if you look at it from the big picture, it's probably better we're losing from a draft pick standpoint.
Yeah, I heard it earlier today on one of my other calls. Ideal scenario, playing pretty well, keeping themselves in close games, showing off some potential, but still keeping the draft picks where they should be. And the Panthers are doing their job for you. So looking like you might have picks 1 and 2 coming into next season. That's pretty exciting. Steelers looking real bad, especially on offense. Defense did their job as usual, and the offense can do nothing about it. So continue my campaign to shoot Matt Canada off into the sun, but he'll be here another 2-3 years just because he came down to the sideline for a couple games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, two franchises, pretty historical ones in the football landscape, and we're in rough spots. Granted, your record is far better and your division is a crapshoot at this point, but just the fact that you guys have the record you do, and this is like the demeanor around it is wild.
The epitome of Tomlinism is, we have fates in our own hands, 6-3 going up against a backup quarterback, and you lose. So
yeah.
We'll see. Still plenty of season left. Other things in sports, MLB free agency. I feel like the World Series just ended, but free agency is kicking off. They're already thinking ahead to next season. Every team is 0-0 again.
Yeah. I mean, back to 0-0. I know that there's a lot of, hype surrounding, Ohtani and where he's going to end up, and being a Cubs fan and some of the whispers. Yeah, obviously we want him. So that's really the only reason I care anything about baseball right now until, May or whenever it starts.
It starts in April, but I get what you're saying.
You go.
Ohtani to the Cubs sounds terrible from a Pirates fan perspective, but I'll be happy for you. Yeah, free agency for baseball, reloading for next year. You've talked a lot about the Bears, kind of having a couple key people in place, exciting, promising times with the draft picks ahead. How are we going to talk about this in terms of recruiting, Louie?
Absolutely. So we're really talking about stability here, solidifying key roles, and not only setting yourself up for more short-term success, but the next 5, 8, 10 years. And to kind of speak to that from the Bears standpoint, we have guys, Justin Fields, Darnell Wright, DJ Moore, Sweat, Tevin Jenkins. Like we have these positions, and we need to be, and we already have locked these guys in for pretty substantial terms, so we're solidifying key points, key pieces for the next 5 to 8 years. What that allows us to do in the short term is address some of the other holes. But in order to do that, you do need to lock in other positions, because if you have to address everything all the time, you're never going to make progress. So to flip that to recruiting, you have to lock in your key people for the short term and the long term. And then that way, what areas of your team, which departments really need a good kick in the ass, if you will, when it comes to bringing in some new talent. Now, I know that we've discussed similar topics, but I think we've had a couple of occurrences in the past couple of weeks where, these are definitely things we need to be looking at.
Sure. Where the Bears are feels an awful lot like where the Pirates feel like they are. We have a lot of young talent. They've locked up a couple guys to really great long-term extensions, and they're starting to put it together on the field. Had a better season than people expected them to have. Still not where you want to be, but of course it's a work in progress. And, free agency is going to be an interesting opportunity. Couple high-level draft picks, again, much like the Bears have, that we hope to produce in the coming years. So see what the next step is for them. We talk about these key pivotal roles and stabilization, setting yourself up for success. It feels really apt to talk about it right now, given the time of year. This week is Thanksgiving. So happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. You get to the end of November, you get into December, and I think most people see the slowdown that happens. Things start to get real quiet in the corporate world. Everyone takes time off. Makes sense, the time of year, but in football terms, a lot of people are already punting to January 2024, to Q1. Why? I get it that, you might have a skeleton crew in some scenarios, but we're going to talk about recruiting, talk about hiring. A lot of people push off hiring to the first quarter, to January. And then it's an absolute all out feeding frenzy for our clients, for companies to then hire. Why are we waiting?
I mean, agreed. In a perfect world, it would be business as usual. I mean, think about it. You have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's. Those are 3 days that, call it 4 if you want to give the day after New Year's, the whole day off. So reshifting focus and pushing things off for what is actually kind of a smaller time frame, it throws everything off. You build a pipeline of candidates, you're sourcing, you got candidates excited, and then it's the first week of December and you punt them until the next year. You're probably going to have to start from scratch. So I can't stress enough keeping that funnel moving, even though, yeah, there is time off, but utilize the time that you aren't off and still continue to talk with candidates and make decisions, because come that new year, the people that were moving are the ones that are going to end up with the talent they want, not what's left over after everyone who kind of continued got their people.
Well, and there's certainly time and place to take time off and slow down a bit. Hirewell, we're closed between Christmas and New Year's. It's a practice that we've done, we continue to do. But between now and, we'll say, a month from now, December 20th, the things you could do in 30 days, you could have a full hiring cycle for positions, have them start after the new year. That way, instead of getting to January 3rd or whatever the day is that people are coming back this year and saying, okay, what do we need to hire for? You come back and you have 5, 8, whatever number of people is starting. And instead of who do we need to hire for, it's all right, let's hit it. Free agency in baseball is starting today? It's starting up. If you wanted Shohei Ohtani or you wanted another top name player on your team, you think if you reach out to him in January, he's going to be available? No shot.
Yeah. I mean, a great analogy. The teams that are going to get the best talent are the ones that it could be Christmas Eve. They're still trying to close people. Not to say that you need to do that in a non-sports environment, but at the same time, I keep stressing this: time kills deals. You're going to lose candidates. You're going to lose business. You're going to lose money, which is essentially why businesses are even a thing, to make money. So you really got to focus in. And yeah, we're off for a week, but I guarantee you there's not a Hirewell recruiter that is not working. I would be very remiss if people just close their laptop for 12 straight days, obviously including the weekends and the 5 business days or whatever, and completely shut out. I don't see it happening. I personally don't do it. Yes, I do take some time, family, whatnot, but at the same time, if I preach it, I have to practice it. So, got to keep the funnel moving. We're going to do everything we can, and candidates are most likely going to be doing everything they can to keep things moving. So don't shut it down, because it's like an engine. You let it shut down for too long, you just have to start all over again, and momentum is killed. So.
And honestly, it turns out that this time of year is actually a time when candidates are more active in looking for jobs, in considering new opportunities. They may have more availability to interview around the holidays. They're already taking time off. And like you said, we don't really, we take time off. It's important to be with family. My wife would kill me if I was working actively the whole time. We're checking emails. We have our phones with us. Everyone does. Candidates are like that. Can they take an hour to interview? Absolutely. Will they do it for the right opportunity? Of course. But you wait till January to start hiring. Well, they're back in work full swing. They have new budgets, new projects. People start getting busy again. What would your advice be to our clients, any companies out there who say, oh, we need to hire? Well, let's wait till January.
I would say, first off, think of the importance of the role. If it is a nice to have right now, passive, okay, I get it. And I think that's part of our responsibility, is to evaluate, even though it technically would work against our own benefit as Hirewell recruiters, but we represent our clients and we want to make the recommendation that best suits them. Now, if it is a high importance and something that needs to be hired, don't look at the holiday season as a time to cut it out. Don't make us reinvent the wheel from January 1 or whatever it is. So it is a case by case, but truly evaluate how important this role is. And would you rather have someone ready to rock come January 3rd, or would you want to wait another month and a half, 2 months to go through interview processes and all that? So you're eating away at 2 months when you could be accomplished and have a person 12 months of the year for a whole calendar year ready to rock. So that would be my expert opinion, if you will.
And you bring up a really good point about it's very case by case, and we want to do what's best for our clients. I have a number of conversations with people, through whether it be networking or just, conversations, when meeting people out, and talking with prospective clients. It's great to establish the relationship now. Is there a scenario where they need to hire and they need to hire tomorrow? Absolutely. And we have clients who are doing that. But a lot of times I'll run into it where they want to establish the relationship. They want to know who they're going to be working with when 3 to 6 months down the road, then they then need to make a lot of hires. Love those too. Love building the relationship. Going to do what's best for them. Not going to force anything on them. Come back in 3 months. Shameless plug for us. From a Hirewell standpoint, we have typically one overarching agreement with our clients. We have them sign that, and that covers us. You have one role you need to work on now. Great. You come back in 6 months with 10 more. We already have an agreement signed. Let's get it. So if you are hiring today, hiring tomorrow, hiring in 3 months, 6 months, whatever that may be, having that signed now, you come back on that Monday in January and you say, I have these 3 roles, you will still be substantially ahead of those who reach out to us that week and say, I'm thinking about hiring. Can we set up a time to talk about it?
Absolutely.
We're 3 steps behind.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be an episode without a shameless plug for Hirewell. So yeah, I mean, don't sit on your hands. Believe me, other companies aren't. They're going to be going after talent. And if you want the top talent, you got to move quick. It's something we constantly preach, and we're doing it because this is what we do every single day. We're in the weeds. We're in the shit with all this stuff. Like, if you want good talent, do not hesitate. That means shorter interview processes, moving quick. Don't delay because of the holidays. Set your goal and work towards that instead of just leaving it open-ended.
It is a holiday week, so we got to kick it to the 2-minute drill. Louie, it's Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for this Thanksgiving season?
Well, first and foremost, thankful for you, Dan. We've created a great relationship based on doing this show. It started at a Cubs game, shocking enough, really. And thankful for family. Hopefully get to spend some time with the relatives and my family and all that. So, lots to be thankful for, but family and you, Dan, and Hirewell, obviously, those are at the top of the list.
Love it. Very thankful for, Hirewell. The people make it as great as it is. I think every time we post any videos on LinkedIn and they ask what's the Hirewell difference, it's the people, it's the leadership, it's kind of, who we are and what we do. Very thankful for you, Louie. This has been, such a wonderful opportunity for us to do. Thankful for my wife, my family, her family, our new puppy, who's a menace, but we love him. Moose will be on the show at some point here in the future. Thankful for the opportunity to get to do what we do and how we do it.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to do it with anyone else, my friend.
Awesome. Well, on behalf of Louie and myself, thank you once again for tuning into the Hirewell Hot Corner. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And please do join us again in 2 weeks for our next episode. And as always, stay classy, LinkedIn.